Hey guys, it's Chippa again, back with another Chippa in the third person video log. It's Wednesday, the 15th of May, 2019. Yeah, it's the morning. I'm on my way to work. Just put a bunch of recycling out. Lynn doesn't recycle plastic bags, but also all the stores still have plastic bags. So you have to throw out the plastic bags. It's kind of obnoxious, but it is what it is. So what's cool in the world? What is cool in the world? So apparently from some poll that I don't know where it came from, and God knows who they're polling, Boston kid, just got voted the number 2 sexiest accent. Don't know if that's sexiest accent in America or sexiest accent in the world, but it's freaking wicked awesome, kid. I happen to think that our accent sounds ignorant, and I have it, so there you go. But people are into it. It is what it is. What I've always found interesting about the Boston accent is how actors that grew up here, that have, kind of gotten rid of it, when they come back and try to do it in movies, how there's differing levels of success. I feel like Matt Damon does a pretty good job. Wahlberg, when he's just talking and not like acting or trying to overdo it, does okay, I guess. Affleck's is the fucking worst. His brother does a great job. I don't know if you guys have seen the Vanilla Nut Taps Dunkin' Donuts commercial guy, but that's pretty goddamn funny. It's really friggin' funny. If you haven't seen it, look it up. There's a Boston Accent, a movie trailer, which is pretty damn funny, featuring 200 new songs from the Dropkick Murphys that all sound exactly like this. It's wild to me that the Dropkick Murphys are so universally accepted now. I mean, they were like the underground of underground Boston area punk rock bands when they started out. The fact that they've got such a wide following and are used in movie soundtracks and stuff is wild to me, but it is what it is, and it's pretty damn cool. The Dropkick Murphys. I'm assuming a lot of people listening to this have seen them. But it was interesting when I was younger. You'd see them in like some, damp basement pub or bar or something somewhere. It was a lot different atmosphere than going to see them play at like Fenway Park with the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, right? Anyway, so there's my thoughts on my kick-ass accent guy trying to make its mark on the world, melt women and men across the galaxy, I guess. So in other news, it was announced that upcoming Star Wars trilogy, I don't know where the knowledge that Rian Johnson was going to get his own 3 movies to oversee, the guy who wrote and directed The Last Jedi, which I think is great, and a lot of you think is terrible. That's the great thing about the world. We can all have an opinion, right? Doesn't change the fact that the movie made $1.6 billion or whatever it was. But anyway, dialing back, there's an assumption that Ryan was going to get 3 movies to oversee, and the Game of Thrones guys were going to get 3 movies to oversee. I've been reading, and I'm not so sure that they're not the same thing. Just because the Game of Thrones showrunners, writers are writing a Star Wars movie, and I think it's just one that's been announced that they're writing, but there's 3 coming up. Doesn't mean those also aren't the ones that Johnson isn't on producing and co-writing or whatever. Who knows? But I haven't been watching. I haven't watched anything more than the first 3 or 4 episodes of season 1 of Game of Thrones. I know, cast your stones now. But I've heard very split thoughts on how the show is ending here. I think its final episode is coming up this Sunday. Maybe I'll just get myself an HBO Go account and just watch it, so I can be in on the conversation. Maybe that's an experiment I'll do. I'll have no idea. But regardless, I mean, it's the same people that have made all of it, so maybe it's being rushed because they're working on Star Wars movies. Who knows? But I don't know. To me, someone who's successful and has made a successful fantasy epic with multiple characters and all of this and succeeded, why shouldn't they get a shot at a Star Wars movie? And why should I be angry if it's theirs that's getting done first over Rian Johnson's? I mean, the guy is making other movies, right? It's not like, he's just waiting for the chance. And I don't think they got moved up and his spot got taken away because the fans have spoken. Again, we haven't seen how J.J. Abrams is going to finish up Johnson's story from The Last Jedi with Rise of Skywalker. So we have no idea. So, again, Mr. Positivity here, but let's be excited we're getting more Star Wars movies. Let's be excited that competent people who have made a show that people have liked for a very long period of time are involved, and they're not just hiring some no-name off the street or random independent director that they can control. Look at how well it worked out with Johnson to differing degrees depending on what you think, and look at how not so great it worked out with the crew behind Kon-Tiki with Pirates of the Caribbean 5. That was very much a machine movie. It was a lot better than the fourth one. It looked fantastic, but it just didn't come up to anything. And now, moving on to another thought, that same director, I think there were a pair, but only one half of them is doing the sequel to Maleficent that looks visually stunning. But Maleficent was a weird one, right? As far as villain backstories go, I thought it was really cool. I don't quite know how this one, now all of a sudden she's the unsympathetic villain again. I don't know if it's a prequel, a sequel. It seems like it's a sequel because they mention Aurora and all of that happening before, and Aurora's in it. So it's going to be interesting to see, but Disney's got some weird shit coming out. I know we talked about Maleficent a bit in the last episode, last of this, but I just wanted to mention it again because I hadn't seen the trailer, but had heard of it, and now I've seen it, and I'm cautiously optimistic about that too. So maybe that's what I want to give to you today on this Wednesday, is cautious optimism on all fronts. If you go into it assuming that it's going to be bad, it's going to be bad. So let's just try that out. Why don't we? Anyways, this has been the Chippa. See you guys on the other side.